Louis Kuppenheim was established around 1857. The earliest pieces I have seen are made from around 1885 to 90, and this is a match safe. The last pieces I possess are from around 1939. LK closed in Pforzheim 1939 due to Nazi persecution. The Jewish family emigrated to North and South America. A brief timeline of Louis Kuppenheim. 1857. Kuppenheim founded the company Louis Kuppenheim. 1889. Louis Kuppenheim Sr. passed away. 3 of his 6 children, Albert, Hugo, and Moritz, jointly managed the company in the future. 1900. At the World's Fair in Paris, Kuppenheim won a gold medal for a letter opener. In the same year, the company opened its first branch at 67 Rue de Richelieu in Paris. 1911. The Paris branch moved to 77 Rue de Petits Champs and later to Rue Volney. 1939. Liquidation ends the 82-year history of the company. Due to the large number of pieces the company produced, it is surprising that so little has been known about the company's history and its precious items. Today, at almost any flea market, you can find pieces made by Pforzheim manufacturers that captivate with their timeless elegance, and that you can buy there for an almost ridiculous prices. The name Kuppenheim goes back to the town of Kuppenheim, which is located 30 miles west from Pforzheim. Kuppenheim produced a couple of million pieces over 60 years. In their peak time, they had over 200 employees, silversmiths, enamelers, engravers, designers, and other staff. LK was the most important enameler in Germany for a long time. They mainly made pieces in silver, rarely in gold. They apparently also made platinum pieces, which I have not seen yet. The range of objects were normally small pieces like cigarette cases, compacts, lighters, match safes, jewelry, magnifying glasses or lorgnon, boxes, also for stamps, bonbonnières, etc., pencils, cigar cutters, letter openers, objects for the toilet, hand mirrors, cigarette holders, traveling clocks, alarm clocks, and more. As mentioned, mainly in silver and often with enamel. LK made pieces for big brands names like Dunhill, Esprit, Douglas Ronson. Designs based on the work of Jugen still artist Hans Christiansen and Art Nouveau artist, also most probably for Alphonse Mucha. A couple of cases from around 1910 to 1925, to be seen in this video soon, are designed by the famous Spanish painter Louis Usable, who got his inspirations through Hollywood and the actors. The most desired fountain pens and pencils made in the 20 ties and 30 ties by Montblanc had their silver overlays manufactured by Sarastro and Fent. Sarastro, on the other hand, sourced its goods from Kuppenheim, very nicely seen in the unique guilloche, the pattern, which we see on a large scale on Kuppenheim objects. A unique, unmistakable guilloche, machine engraving, often a floral pattern, within very fine lines often seen on the edge of the object. The fountain pens from Fent, for example, have a similar but different guilloche pattern. The white enameled Montblanc, not all are enamel, logos could therefore also very well come from Kuppenheim. I hope that the future will bring more light into the darkness. Kuppenheim's products ranged from historism through Art Nouveau and Art Deco, including Japonism and Egyptian motifs, and lastly, the streamlined design. Kuppenheim was most successful in the Roaring Twenties just after the German hyperinflation from 1922 and 23, in 1925 to the stock market crash in 1929. At this time, his most desirable high-quality and striking pieces, still mainly silver, were produced. A large amount was exported to the US, UK, South America, Scandinavia, and Russia. The enamelist Georg Adam Schade from Vienna and Samson and Morton, the inventor of the propelling pencil, didn't produce many objects in the 20s, so the producing market was more open to Kuppenheim. Most dealers or collectors can identify the old German fraction script initials. The LK mark often is misinterpreted. Kuppenheim's hallmarks changed over the years, allowing collectors to date the objects at least to some degree. For a company like Elke, who collaborated with some of the most important enamelers, designers, and was one of the most important silver manufacturers in Germany, it is really quite astonishing that there's hardly any information on this firm. Hardly any catalogs, newspaper articles, sample books, no museum, of which I know of, dedicated his work, details on locations of offices worldwide, no successor, etc. If you have any more infos to this company, please do send me an email, info@silber-stempel.de. Also, don't forget to join our Facebook group on silver and enamels, link below in the box. Personalized cigar, Havana boxes. From around 1900 to 1910, LK made these very desirable and rare silver enamel Havana boxes in enamel. The Henry Clay brand was created in the 1840s by a Cuban tobacco magnate, the Spanish emigrant Julian Alvarez Granda. The name was proposed by Julian Alvarez when he was in the service of an employer, and he maintained it once he was in business for himself. The biggest competitors pre-World War I: Samson and Morden from London, David Anderson, Norway, and George Adam Shade from Vienna. After the war, it was only David Anderson. The Parisian houses, such as Cartier, Boucheron, and Van Cleef and Arpels, played in a completely different league, as these are high-end goldsmiths, rather than silver manufacturers. These pieces are qualitatively higher processed. Also, the Parisian jewelry pieces are often made of gold with expensive gemstones. Kuppenheim, however, liked to copy the Parisian fashion, and this at much lower prices. Always kept pace with the time, Kuppenheim and the manufacturers just mentioned produced cases or boxes that reflected the modern achievements, the new technical inventions, and the zeitgeist of the time. Like these cases with the shot of the first automobiles, steamships, or airplanes. From 1925, Kuppenheim experimented with enamel, which was supposed to imitate snake or lizard leather. These boxes are cloisonne enamel. Abstract floral cloisonne enamel can also be seen on these two pieces. The enamel is by Kuppenheim. On the left is a Dunhill compact made by La Nationale. On the right, a lighter by the Douglas Company, USA. Current table or travel clocks in many bright colors could not be missed in the assortment. Thus, among other things, also travel clocks with an alarm function can be seen. The purple-colored travel clock, with a beautiful guilloche enamel, sold by Esprit. The import marks for London are from 1915. The pyramid clock, a typical Egyptian design, was made with the guilloche sunburst around 1928. These perfectly balanced collector's pieces are, however, only sought after if the condition of the enamel is perfectly intact. As soon as the enamel is damaged, the demand drops rapidly. In my view, only 5 to 10% of the pieces offered are in good condition. Other objects are ashtrays, often with funny inscriptions like this ashtray "Gentlemen, you may smoke now," or other small fine guilloche enameled bowls or trays can be found.
Now we are coming to my absolute favorite piece, and I have so many favorite Kuppenheim pieces, but this is the absolute coolest piece I've ever seen. This is the Pagoda. Wick is a little bit far out, but it closes like this. Again, you have the unique lighter. And here you have the cigarettes. So these are a little bit too long. And the workmanship is beautiful. Gilt inside. And look at the condition. This is tarnished. This can be cleaned easy. And here's a lot of handwork as well on this piece. If this would fall once on the floor and if it would have a mean ding in somewhere, it would be really difficult to get it out again. especially on the engine turning. And then this pops open. This can be used as an ashtray and served to somebody else, to somebody here. So you could have it like this or like this. And here you would fill it up again. And this one again weighs around 500 grams. And this was marked here on the side. Sterling, Germany and Dunhill. So if you're lucky and if you would see something like this at an antique show, they would have no idea who made it. And you could take advantage and buy it for small money. The last two pieces. Now, as mentioned, in 1929 you had the stock market crash, and not just in Germany and not just for Kuppenheim, but worldwide, the designs changed and the quantities changed. So with Kuppenheim it was like they were on 100% until 1929, and after that it was only 10% made. And the longer or the closer you got to the Second World War, you saw how desperate they were. They were only making a fraction of pieces, hardly any enamel. The hallmarks got sloppy, and to the end of the 30s they had the new design, the streamlined design, like these here. There's actually the compact here where the mirror is missing and the roof is missing. It has very, very sloppy. And if you look at the design, it really nearly looks 40s. If you look at this here, I guess it was made 1938, 39. And Louis Kuppenheim were the three brothers who took over the company from their dad in 1900. They had to close the company down as they were Jewish in 1939. This has a concealed push button. And this again is typical streamlined design. Very massive, and this is actually nearly sad. This must have been one of the very last pieces which were made, and it was for a German soldier who had this Jewish compact, and is engraved Brussels, 2nd of October 1940, and it was made for unserem lieben Hauptmann Hell in aufrichtiger Freundschaft, and then the two names and the hallmark, the last series of hallmarks here. So I hope you liked this small introduction to Kuppenheim, and if you see an enameled piece, English piece with a nice scene with woods and landscape, gouache underneath, it probably it's not English, as the hallmarks say. It's probably done in Pforzheim. Thanks for looking, and I'm going to show you some fantastic Dunhill lighters now. Just have a quick peek with me, come with me. Now we are going upstairs, and as I said, this guy doesn't only have Kuppenheim lighters, he also has lots of Dunhill lighters. So I'll just show you some pieces here.